What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be talking about the most bullish currency pair that I am currently bullish on, which is going to be USD JPY. And in this video, I'm going to explain why. I'm going to talk about setups and things that I've been doing recently with this currency pair and sort of my outlook and, like I said, the reasoning behind why I am so bullish on the USD JPY. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing I want to say about the dollar yen is that recently it got really sold off. It got really steeply sold off. And I basically looked at this as a big opportunity to be buying the dip. And I'm going to talk about all of the reasons why here as we get along. Now, the first thing I want to say is that retail traders, if we go to the retail sentiment section on our website, a1trading.com, feel free to use this anytime you want. You can check out the retail sentiment anytime. And what we can see here is that just recently we actually switched on the dollar yen to 60% of retail traders going short on this currency pair. Now, just a few hours ago or even yesterday, we saw this thing way different. We saw a lot more traders looking to go long on the dollar yen. And so this was a signal to me that was an extra sort of boost to my interest in actually going long on the dollar yen. Now, what you can see is when retail crowd is usually short on something, what that tells us is that we know that the average retail trader, they lose money, right? So if we know that the average retail trader right now is short on the dollar yen, that's an extra bonus to me in my style of trading using sentiment analysis to actually go against the crowd there on the dollar yen. Now, that's just one component of it. The other reasons I want to talk about, if we back out to the daily chart, I'm bullish more on the higher time frames than anything else. On the lower time frames, we may get some volatility, but for me on the higher time frames, I do like this thing fundamentally to the long side, and here's why. So fundamentally speaking, right around this area over here, when we saw that previous top, right back in April, lots of strength coming into this, huge upside for the dollar yen. And then we sold off dramatically. Now, the reason that we sold off, the reason that we were so bullish back here was that we had a lot of positive, expectations for the Fed to sort of respond to the inflation concerns, right? So we saw a lot of optimism around the dollar, a lot of people saying, hey, the yen is a sell due to the fact that, we're in a risk-on environment, things are growing, looking good. And if this doesn't make sense to you, by the way, I highly encourage you to tune into my live streams Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. They're free and they could be a big help in fundamental analysis. I talk about it all the time. But the major idea here was that, the Fed eventually came out and said, hey, we're not really interested in raising rates right now or anytime soon. We'd like to basically say no to that. And basically that shot the dollar into a overnight bear market. You can see we topped out here right around 111 and then we sold off dramatically. Then things started to change. And then I started to get bullish here again on the dollar yen once things from the Fed started shifting again. In fact, the dollar yen continued to climb slowly and steadily here off of the basis of what I just said, right? The yen being more of a sell due to its risk off nature. And then we got this confirmation that was big for me where we started to see the dollar really spike when the Fed came out and said, hey, we're looking to raise rates 2 times by the end of 2023. So here's where things get so interesting. If the dollar yen was trading at 111 back here when there was no, Fed rate hikes in sight for the dollar, and then over here, we do have the idea or the promise of, which a loose promise, but a promise nonetheless from the Fed that we are going to look to raise rates 2 times by the end of 2023. That's their latest statement on the subject. Though we since have heard a little bit of slowdown, a little bit of, hey, we're still working. We're not quite where we want to be with this. And that caused the dollar to dip a little bit. That dip to me was a buy because again, we analyzed these 2 scenarios, scenario number 1 and scenario number 2, and this is where things get really interesting. Scenario number 1, there was no rate hike chance. Things were so off the table. And then number 2, we had way more optimism around rate hikes. And the interesting thing, the price was right around the same there. So what that tells me is that it was not necessarily a buy over here, but if it's priced at the same over here when I think it is a buy, I hope this is making sense, but the idea is that at the same price level, it is more of a bargain now in my view. So this recent dip off of that fear around the Asian market selling off a little bit and the yen getting a little bit strong, to me, that was more of a dip than anything, and I have been treating it that way in my own trading accounts. My thought with the dollar yen technically is also bullish right now because we did see a nice little pullback. So let me see if I can draw in some technicals here for you and try and explain everything that's been going on. So recently the dollar yen saw a pretty significant dip, but it found support at a really key spot that I want to show you guys. So what you can notice here is the first thing I want to point out is the fact that the dollar yen here has been getting consistent higher lows and bidding up from buyers. Now we just retested a key spot, and the big news here from a technical analysis perspective is that this demand did in fact seemingly hold. Now, I could be wrong about this. This is me being bullish on something. That doesn't mean that it's a guarantee that it's going to go higher. I can totally be wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times in the past. Just ask my girlfriend. So when I'm looking at the dollar yen and it dips like this and it finds support so strongly at a previous level of demand, I like that as an optimistic place for price to potentially push higher and to form the other side of this, which is, okay, we're seeing higher lows, but we're also seeing higher highs. Okay, so a higher high in this case could lead us, in my opinion, up to my target for the dollar yen this year, which is 112. Okay, now 112 seems far away. We're only at 110.35, so seems like a good distance away when you start to look at it in the short term. But if you open up the distance a little bit and you say, okay, well, where is 112 on that daily chart? Well, you look at that and you say, okay, well, 112 is just above the previous high. But that makes a lot of sense when you sort of consider the fact that, okay, this thing is in an upward trend. On the daily chart, we've got the 200 intact. We've got the 200-day moving average, right? You can see we are trading above that nicely. We're trading above the 50 and the 100. All the moving averages are clean to the upside. And from a technical analysis perspective, I think that the dollar yen has no hesitation getting above 111 and even hitting that 112 target should things continue bullish from the Fed and with the dollar. Now, again, like I said, I can be wrong about this, so I'm not telling you this to be like, hey, go buy the dollar yen. I'm just telling you my opinion and my most bullish currency pair right now. So how have I actually been trading it? That's the final part that I wanted to talk about this with you guys here. So let me pull this up and show you one of my latest trades. So I did take a long position on the dollar yen here inside of our private Discord. If you're not in our Discord, there's a link down below in the description. It's the first one. You sign up on our website and then you get access into the Discord. So I went long on the dollar yen here yesterday. Things have been going really well so far. And I do plan on holding this into the news tomorrow. So tomorrow we have CPI news, which could be a big deal. Could go against me, could go in my favor, but I'm more of a swing trader, so I'm looking to sort of react either way. So my theory here with this dollar yen trade is that we got, this lower time frame pullback. That was an entry for me. I took a long setup and it's been going well so far. You can see I'll recreate it here on the lower time frames just so you can see it. So again, I take like a fundamental higher time frame perspective, and then I go and actually play it out on the 4-hour chart, the 1-hour chart, etc. So we ended up getting that pullback here somewhere around this region, and that got me into the trade. So far so good. Trying to hold on to this one and see if I can catch a winner. I do have my stop loss in place though, so if I'm completely wrong about this, if I'm a total idiot and I'm a moron and the YouTube trolls get me and they're right this time, then I'll still just take a small controlled loss or even a break-even trade should I decide to move my stops to break even. But again, like I said, we do have CPI numbers coming out tomorrow, which could be a big deal for the price. Oh, one more thing technically I wanted to point out. Check this out on the 1-hour chart. You can kind of see we did break out of this downward trend line. We were seeing strong levels of resistance. The next big barrier here for me in terms of resistance, I would say, is a retest of some of this structure here at 110.8, somewhere right around this range here where we had some sellers previously. So I think that price has the potential to make its way back up to this level. The next level from there, of course, would have to be that 111.6 mark, and then higher time frames really come into play when we talk about trying to make our way up to that 112 target. So so like I said, I think that the dollar yen for me is a buy. Emphasis on for me. I encourage you, if you don't have a trading plan, if you don't have a strategy, please take the time to go create one. Don't go just buying something just because somebody on YouTube, even myself, talked about it. You should make your own decisions and you should be informed with what you choose to do. So this is my thoughts on the dollar yen. This is the pair that I am most bullish on right now. We will see if that plays out. If I'm right, I'll look to try and let a winner run. And if I'm wrong, I'll look to stop out quickly and take minimal damage. With that said, hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to smash that like button down below and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more free trading content. Thanks, and we'll see you back next time.